What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. When it comes to prepping for survival, a lot of people seem to forget about having a home business. They look at food storage, they look at having tools, they look at having a water filter, having some medical gear put back, having a couple of guns put back, some ammunition, and think they are prepared. And they completely look over having a home business. Having a home business will allow you to be prepared even when your food storage runs out, for example, because you cannot just put back everything that you need forever. You're going to overlook some things, you're going to forget some things, and you're going to need things that you hadn't thought of. If you have a way to make an income, after, say, an economic collapse, then maybe you can take your skills, your products you can make, and barter for what you need and what you forgot. However, even now, for example, or even in great economic times, having a home business is a huge plus. Now, you see that the federal government is using corporations, using companies to mandate certain medical procedures. And your choice in that situation is to take that medical procedure or to quit or to be terminated. And if you have a home business, they can't touch you in that way because you're not obligated to either take that, quit, or be fired. You have your own home business, so you're more in control. So having a home business is definitely a plus in good times and semi-hard times and in very difficult times like an economic collapse, for example. So what kind of home business should you start? That will depend on you, of course. It depends on what you like. You don't want to start a home business doing something that you simply hate. There's lots of different businesses that you can look at, and you could be thinking, there's a lot of money to be made in this business. However, I don't like doing that. And if you go that route, after a couple of years, you could grow to actually like that home business, to actually like doing what you're doing, to earn a living. However, most likely, it'll become more and more of a burden, of a hassle. When you get up in the morning, instead of saying, yeah, it's time to go to work and do something, you'll get up and you'll say, oh God, here we go again, another day of this crap. So try to choose something that you like to do. You need to also look at the skills that you have. Dig deep and think of what skills that you actually have that you could turn into a home business. Now, when I say home business, that doesn't mean it necessarily has to be done right at your home. For example, you could be a jack of all trades handyman, and you could have your truck, but you could do your bookkeeping and all your calls and things at home and have that as your home base, at your home office. But you could take and have your truck to go out and do home repairs and plumbing repairs and different things that you might do as a handyman. But guys, when it comes to choosing a home business that you have the skills to do, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have those skills master right now. You need a good basic knowledge of those skills. However, you can always get to work now improving and learning those skills. For example, making a product. Say, for example, you have a knife shop and you're making custom knives at home. You're going to get better the more you do and the more you learn. So you might not be a master blade maker to start out with. It may take several months, several years to get proficient at that. However, if you start now, you can gain those skills. So the most important thing is to come up with an idea that you would like doing year after year, because you don't want to have something that you absolutely hate to do. And you're trying to do that, and your work's going to suffer, your mental health is going to suffer. So that should be your first priority, is to choose something that you actually like to do. Then choose something you have skills to do, or time to learn those skills, or an ability to learn those skills. Thirdly, you need to think about what home business is good now, is good in, say, good economic times, and that will also be in demand, in a post-economic collapse type situation. Think of What will be in demand? What products will people need? Guys, some things people are going to need regardless. It doesn't matter if the economy is great, if everything is going great, or if the economy is completely collapsed. Certain things are still going to be in demand. Take, for example, food. It doesn't matter how good the economy is going, how good the country is going, or how bad. People are going to need to eat. And if you can provide, that food for those people to eat, then you have a home business. If you have a few acres of land you can grow a variety of crops, or even one certain crops you can specialize in, and you can sell that produce, then you have a recession-proof, economic collapse-proof business model. If you have, say, a large enough area to have 100 hens, for example, and you have another area that you can grow most of your feed for those hens, you can sell eggs, you can sell meat, you'll always be in demand. Medical care is another thing that you can always be in demand for. It's more difficult to have, a home business as a doctor at your home. However, I guess you might be able to do that if you are certified, have all the credentials and things to do that. You could do that at home, I would say. I've not looked into that to know for sure, but I don't see why you couldn't. You could have your home office, or have your office built on your own property, But you can always be in demand if you can produce food, if you can produce medical care, if you can produce dental care, if you can repair items that break down. For example, if you can repair chainsaws, for example, mowers, if you can repair automobiles, if you can weld, if you can make parts like a blacksmith shop, you'll be in demand. But like I said, there's hundreds of different opportunities and endless possibilities, actually. And it boils down to what you like to do, what you want to do, what skills you have now, and what skills you can perfect, and what will be in demand, no matter the economic situation, for example. And guys, another idea is to start, several side hustles. Perhaps you have a job now and you're trying to figure out what you want to do. Or you can combine several side hustles to make a full-time income. For example, let's say you are good at repairing small engines. You're good at repairing chainsaws and mowers and things like that. Perhaps, along with that, if you can't produce a full-time income doing that, small engine repair, perhaps, you could expand that out to several side hustles. Like doing lawn care, like cutting and selling firewood. It kind of all ties in together with that small engine concept. However, you're branching out into several side hustles. Perhaps, you can you cut hair. You know how to style and cut hair. It's going to always be in demand, most likely. And this time's got really, really, really difficult and everything completely collapsed. As long as there is some semblance of civilization, people are going to want their hair cut. They're going to want their hair styled. And if you're set up at your home to do that, you can make money doing that. Maybe you can branch out and do other things just besides that. Like I said, if you have several side hustles, that will allow you to keep busy. And maybe, if one of those picks up, you can make that into a full-time home business. That's one way of figuring out what's going to work for you and in your area. Say, for example, if you have 5 different side hustles that you're doing at the same time, you're juggling those side hustles, maybe you can figure out which one could be made into a permanent, because you will see what works best for you, what works best in your community, and what is most in demand. And maybe you can, in time, start one home business and let the other side hustles, slide. But then some other people that I know keeps doing several different side hustles, and they keep busy all the time by doing that. Okay, so far we just talked about, local home type business that you can do in your community. However, with the internet, you can expand out and go worldwide. However, you keep in mind that being online, working on the internet, does have its negatives. For example, the internet can go down. Say if the power grid goes down, an EMP, something like that happens, a cyber attack, the power can go down, the internet can go down, and your business will then be shut down. So it's a good idea if you go the route of working online that you have a backup home business on the side that you can fall back on, because things happen, grid down type situation, internet can go down, and you'll be shit out of luck, as the saying goes. So having a backup is great. However, there's lots of benefits to working online. For example, you get to work nationwide or even worldwide. Different things you can do to make a living online. There's many things I don't know anything about. I'm more of a content producer, and I've been doing this for the last 15 years or so, producing content through my books, through websites, through YouTube. And it takes time to get this started. If you want to do this, it can be done. However, it took me approximately 4 years from start to where I can make a full-time income doing this. Another possibility, besides being a content producer, you could, for example, have things you gather up at yard sales, at flea markets and places like that, and you can sell those on eBay, for example. Perhaps you can be a content producer and write, how-to books and publish those through Amazon, for example. Many different things you can do online to make a living, and I'm not qualified to talk about all those different items. They're selling on eBay, you can sell through Amazon, you can do content creation, you can do podcasts, there's all kinds of different things you can do online. However, if you go the route of being a content producer, it's going to take a long time, most likely, to start making an actual living, because you have to gather a following. If you set up a sales account, say on eBay, for example, and you go and you get products at yard sales, flea markets, and things like that, you might be able to buy those products wholesale also and sell those through eBay. You can start right off making a living doing that if you can get that product and keep those listings going. But a content producer, it takes longer because you have to gather an audience, and gathering an audience takes time. If you can make a product to sell online, for example, that can definitely be done. Set up your shop and list those items through eBay, Amazon, or even your own website. Drive traffic to that and sell those items. You make those items, you sell those items. For example, let's go back to the home knife shop. If you can make really nice custom knives, you can sell those through Amazon, eBay, your own website. For example, you can make a video for YouTube where you show the construction process of that blade from start to finish. Like a video and condense it down to, say, a 30-minute video of how you made that knife. And then at the end, you can show the completed product and offer that for sale through your YouTube channel. All kinds of ways to make a living online. However, like I say, keep in mind that it can falter at any time, because the power grid can go down, the internet can go down. However, if it doesn't, online is definitely one way to go, one thing to consider. Anyways, guys, I'll put a link to the article, my website, Creekmore.com. It's 31 ways to make money in rural areas with low startup cost. Check it out, maybe give you some ideas. But like I said, it should be based mostly on what you like to do, what you have the skills to do, what will be in demand in your area, and what will be in demand, in a post-collapse type situation. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm the Creekmore Miner here, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.